The scariest curses don't throw things. They replace things. A word, a reflection, a decision. This is Whisper Loop. Like, subscribe, and comment the strangest coincidence you've ever lived through. Mine started with my name. At work, a colleague called me by a nickname nobody used. Not offensive, just wrong. I corrected him, smiling, and he apologized. Then used the wrong name again 5 minutes later, eyes confused. The next day, my mother texted me with the wrong spelling of my own name. My own mother. I shrugged it off. Then my reflection began to hesitate. I noticed it in the bathroom mirror at 2 a.m., half asleep. I lifted my hand to rub my eyes, and for a fraction of a second, the reflection lifted its hand a heartbeat late. A delay, like lag on a video call. I blinked hard. The delay vanished. I told myself it was fatigue, but fatigue doesn't learn patterns. Over the next week, the delay returned. Always when I was alone, always late at night, always brief enough that doubt could swallow it. And then the voice started. Not a voice in the room, a voice in my head that sounded like my own thought, but too polite. Say it. Say what? The suggestion would arrive whenever I looked in a mirror. Say your name, clearly. It felt like a test. I refused, because a thought that insists is not a thought. It's a hand. My sleep fell apart. I'd wake with my tongue pressed to the roof of my mouth, jaw aching as if I'd been trying not to speak in my dreams. One morning I found a damp yellow slip of paper on my bedside table, a talisman, folded into a tight triangle. No explanation, no note, just that. I didn't touch it. I took a photo. Then I called the only person I knew who didn't laugh at these things, my uncle, who kept a small altar and treated bad energy like an illness you could diagnose. He listened, then said, "Go see Master Wen." I went that afternoon. Master Wen's shop smelled of herbs and old wood. He didn't look like a movie exorcist, just an elderly man with steady hands and a face that had seen too many panicked visitors. He asked me to say my name. My throat tightened. I forced it out. The moment I spoke it, his eyes narrowed. Again, he said. I repeated it. He nodded slowly. "Something likes your sound," he murmured. My stomach dropped. "Can it take it?" He shrugged. "If you lend it." He opened a drawer and produced a fresh talisman folded and sealed. "Keep this under your tongue at night," he said. "Do not chew it. Do not swallow it. Do not show it to mirrors." I blinked. Under my tongue? He met my eyes. "Your mouth is a door," he said. "This keeps the door from swinging." Then he gave me one strict rule. For 7 nights, he said, do not speak your full name after sunset. Not to anyone. Not to yourself. Not in a whisper. Not in anger. What happens if I do? His expression didn't change. I left with the talisman in my pocket and a new fear in my chest. That night I followed his instruction. I tucked the folded charm under my tongue before sleep. It tasted like dry paper and faint ink. Uncomfortable, but comforting in the way a locked seatbelt is uncomfortable. At 2:12 a.m. I woke. The mirror in my bedroom, leaning against the wall, looked darker than it should. A polite thought arrived. Say it. My tongue pressed against the charm. The thought sharpened. Say your name, clearly. I kept my mouth closed. The mirror's surface seemed to thicken, like water settling. And then my reflection smiled. Not my tired half-smile. A smile that looked practiced, like someone trying on my face. My breath hitched. The reflection moved, just slightly, before I did. A reversal. Like it was leading. I clenched my jaw around the charm and forced myself to stare at the wall instead. The thought turned coaxing, almost kind. Just once. Courtesy. Courtesy again. Always the same word when something wants permission. I didn't answer. I didn't speak. Eventually the pressure behind my eyes eased. When morning came, the mirror looked normal. My reflection was mine. On the 3rd night, the curse tried a new tactic. My phone rang after sunset. Unknown number. I didn't answer. The voicemail transcribed itself automatically. It was my voice, saying my full name. Slowly, clearly. My stomach turned. I deleted it. Then I remembered Master Wen's warning. If you lend it. Had I already lent it, without speaking? On the 5th night, I woke to the sound of my own mouth moving, not talking, forming words silently, practicing. I sat up, heart hammering, charm under my tongue. The mirror's surface shimmered, my reflection's lips moved in perfect sync. But the eyes looked pleased. A gentle knock came from inside the mirror, not on glass, from within it. The reflection leaned closer and the polite thought arrived one last time, sharp. Say it, and we can switch. I bit down on the charm hard enough to feel paper tear. A sharp warmth flooded my mouth, like pepper and salt. The mirror's shimmer faltered. The reflection's smile twitched. Then, just for a moment, I heard a sound like someone inhaling through a straw. Hungry, frustrated, and then the pressure vanished. In the morning, I returned to Master Wen. He took the charm, now slightly torn, and nodded. It tried, he said. Is it gone? I asked. He didn't promise. It lost interest, he replied. For now. What do I do? He looked at me like he was tired of teaching the same lesson. Stop giving your name away for free, he said. Stop answering unknown calls. Stop whispering to mirrors. And when a thought arrives like a command, treat it like a stranger at your door. I did. Months later, my life is normal. But every once in a while, late at night, I catch my reflection hesitating, like it's remembering how close it came. So if you're listening right now, do me a favor. Don't say your full name into the dark. Not as a joke, not as a dare, not to prove you're not scared. Because some things don't want your body. They want your permission. Like, subscribe, and stay with Whisper Loop.